Well, good evening. I'm Robert A. Wilson with Cowboy Wisdom Hypnoacuity. Hypnoacuity is about quieting the thinking memory mind and the nitpicking mind. Allows you to expand out of where you're at to where you're going. Tonight, I want to talk about something that I really expanded into, and it opened my eyes to a lot of things, but it opened also my listening for clarity, to comprehend what I'm being showed from the external world. But we choke our emotions down through food and many things, but we cover things up. And the more we hide and cover up in the body, the more the body becomes a warehouse of all of our unwanted stuff. See, my subconscious mind is right in here. I felt that. But the emotions of all the frustrating things that went on in our life. And what happens is the emotions get energized by an outside, good, bad, or indifferent, about something from the outside world. And if it's bad or good, the brain takes a snapshot of it, and that becomes a memory. That's like when you're on a job or you're working someplace, and the first impression you give the boss or somebody, good, bad, or indifferent, that snapshot is what the boss or anybody lives by. So if somebody gets an unsavory snapshot of somebody, it's going to be with them for the rest of their life, because that snapshot is what is recorded in the subconscious landscape. The subconscious landscape never sleeps. And it's 95% of everything we have go on in our lives is from the subconscious landscape. But the emotions is something, when any addiction or anything is you want to expand out of, the emotions in the body are equal to the mind and the brain. And see, everybody works on the mind, but the mind actually, until the body becomes a servant to the mind, the mind is a servant to the body. And we are a servant to our past. And something I've really expanded into in Cowboy Wisdom Hypnoacuity is I let go of self-worth. And anything with self, it become inner sovereign wealth is self-worth. It's sovereign expansion energizes inner sovereign wealth, optimizing inner born sovereign love. And see, sovereign is uncontrolled by outside sources. And wealth is just wisdom, energy, appreciation, love, transcending hellraiser's fun, or loving today, whatever you desire to make or desire to experience, that's what that opens up to. It's about calming that thinking memory mind and allowing you to expand out of where you're at. And see, that's a simple saying I use. I expand out of this unwanted stuff to expand of my desired stuff. And that can be anything. But when the emotions are still reactionary and the imprints in your thinking memory mind and your subconscious and all that is still reactionary, you're going to react. And that's something I really developed. A lot of that started from the womb to 12 years old. And I did a webinar on that, and I'm going to do another one because last night's didn't turn out the way I desired it. But it's really from the womb to 12 years old is when we develop most of our stuff, because the analytical mind doesn't become active until about 12 years old. And I ain't so sure some days mine ever did, because I can still be pretty reactionary, but I'm calming that down by understanding. I get a vocabulary that expands me up into the liminal lingo of my life. I let go of where I'm at. If you use the same words that got you into the situation to try to get you out of the situation, you're going to stay the same. For me, I let go of learn, think, know. For learn, it's comprehend. For know, it's wisdom and understanding and discernment. And thinking is pure inspiration. And see, the thing about inspiration, it's free to you and allows your unique talents to come forth. But if you use the same words, you're going to have the same memories and the same mindset going in. And that's another word I got out of my life is mindset, because if you get a mindset, it's set. But if you get the the forthright fortitude to move forward, it just allows the flexibility and maneuverability. That's all these words are, is giving you the, not really the flexibility, but the dexterity to dance with your life rather than be stuck in yesterday. And that is where we're at. We're stuck in yesterday because you think you know your way to yesterday. That's my favorite saying. And I do. And what really is, we're hardwired to our beliefs, opinions, and viewpoints, and our know-it-all self and our egotistical arrogance. Oh, pick me on them three. Pick me on all that. Until I realized and admitted. And that's the thing. You just have to admit that it went on. And then you can begin the process of letting go. But yet there's still stuff deeper in there. And that's where hypnoacuity is hypnotherapy. But everybody's addicted to therapy. This way, it's keenness of vision, listening, and inspiration. It'll expand you out of life. But it's inspiration dissolves desperation. That is something I really understand. And there's something else I really awakened to. People are so addicted to being told what to do or telling people what to do. Inspiration is pure clarity, allowing you to comprehend it any way you desire to move your life forward. We've never been showed the way to comprehend the wisdom in a conversation because we were always wanting to know what happened and how it went, and then we stay the same. And man, I started this in 1997, and for the first 9 years, I stayed in the change, heal, create, and transformation, and I stayed the same. Nothing in my life, you can think it did, but when it really come down to it, the reactionary emotions, feelings, and them snapshots, that's something we really have to open up to, is the snapshots of our past controls the day. And it's them snapshots and the emotions, when they react together, same thing. And man, I'll tell you what I could do. I could act like a 2-year-old. I had no problem doing that. But now I'm calmer, and I still got a long ways to go, but it's easier to move forward now. And that's what this is all about, is moving forward out of yesterday. Instead of transformation, it's expansion. Instead of heal, it's liberation. Instead of create, it's energize or innovation. And energize is what we do. I'm a union electrician, and whatever we did, we always energized the circuit. Transformation was step down. So really, the more liberating lingo you can use and get into the liminal landscape, into the superliminal scenarios of your dreams. And possibilities and now scenarios. You can use the scenarios of possibilities or just scenarios. Either way works. But how does it feel to understand the scenarios of possibility? But how's it just say my trend-setting scenarios? See, play on words and you raise your vibrations and your frequencies of foresight to light the light of life, to thrive with an alive, enterprising wizardry. And see, the words of liberation, always never use the word change, it's expand. And always use unleash, unlock, untether, unfeather, let fly, liberating words. A liminal lingo of let's go, rather than status quo, whoa. And I've done the status quo, whoa, trust me. And here's something else I really have to open up to in my life. It's all up to me. And the outside world did nothing to me. It's the way I ingrained it. And now there are some things that were done by people in the outside world, but that's a whole, we're talking about just everyday life. And even them things can be expanded out of when you use appreciation over forgiveness. Appreciate yourself for having the courage and the grandeur to expand through it. And when you use appreciation and you call, and then here's the funny one. These are my two favorite when I'm having a bad day and everything's going to hell. In a handbasket, and I'm in the handbasket going down the hill. Flip 'em a jig, be gone now. That's just the event. Whatchamacallem, be gone now. And them just make you laugh. They just break the train, the stressing out thoughts, and getting mad at the world, and they make you laugh. Laugh at the gaffes, and you never be stuck in yesterday. But really, just them two little simple sayings, they are very, very liberating. And that's what this is all about, is liberation. And Tuesday night and Monday nights, expansion hour is the gifts of liberation. Liberation over heal, because heal has memory. Liberation is free of memories. Wisdom is free of memory. And that is because wisdom, the world is long on knowledge, short on wisdom. Wisdom is the experience. Knowledge starts here. Wisdom is what you get over here. Knowledge starts here. Wisdom is over here. And it's an experience. And see, we go from the college educated graduation into management, and we think we're there. And then we look and kind of look down upon the blue collars. But there was one undercover boss where the CEO went out to the floor and they fired him for being too slow. So everybody thinks everybody's easy. And the one that I think is the most fun to watch is a waitress in one of them country diners where it's just busy, and there's one waitress in there that always does it, and she never messes up an order. I'd screw that up so bad. Everybody's job looks easy from the outside, but you never know it until you physically do it yourself. And that's like expanding out of where you're at. You have to emotionally expand out of it, physically in the body, discharge it. And you also got to entertain the brain with a new fame and fortune of your foresight, optimizing, revolutionary, trend-setting, ubiquitous nerve expanding through life. But just the simple thing of using expand over change, it takes the apprehensive or the fear out of it. And so you got to, and my new favorite, another word I just come up with is frap. That's fear and crap together. So when you unstrap the frap, you wrap to realize, appreciate, facilitate, and participate in your life. Facilitate and participate, that takes the stress out because you're more in tune with what's going on. And we stress out because we're hardwired to stress because we taught ourselves that. And this is something that's really kind of new. I taught myself everything, and everything in the outside world was the way I embedded it. The outside world's actually innocent of most things, but I'm the one that made it guilty. I looked at the world through guilty eyes and vindictive inner selves. So as you open up to understand this, you expand out of life and you let go of that thinking memory mind. You discharge the emotions, the feelings, and you can also put a new image into that snapshot that was a reactionary. When that all activates, that's why we're reactionaries, because of the snapshots in the brain. And the emotions, and we all get it going. And when that same type of event happens out here, we do. That's why you expand out of the past right in front of you. You expand out of the past here, not back there, because that underlying current of delusion is still running through that your daily life. But when you open up to recognize it, it really becomes a liberation. And I was talking about the womb to 12. That's where whatever your parents said around the kitchen table and whatever was occurring, that is what you embedded. And we did. And man, I embedded it really good. But now that I've understood it and I've admitted it, I can start addressing it, blessing it, and confess it to me, express it to the world, so people use my wisdom to expand out of themselves. And it's a simple saying: I liberate me from me by discharging my thinking memory mind to understand inspiration, innovation, intuition, and imagination are now, and they'll expand me through everything. And I am Robert A. Wilson with Cowboy Wisdom Hypnoacuity, and my website's mycowboywisdom.com. You can read it there. My email is robert@mycowboywisdom.com. And my books are available at amazon.com/author/Robert A. Wilson. And I want to thank you, and I'm going to say good night.